It's an energy efficiency education dashboard, and the idea of that is to help be able to display the consumption of power from multiple sources in this case. The Commercial Bank of West Liberty, that was destroyed by the tornado, built back and got a LEED Gold certification. Meaning that they are built to standards, the best that can be built, and they got geothermal put into the bank to lower their energy costs. That's a renewable energy solution, and the dashboard is designed to help measure that activity. But in addition to that, what we did is we added 2 other sources of energy and consumption, and that were 2 habitat homes built after the tornado, and the grant also paid for solar to be installed on their homes. It was designed to be net zero, so hopefully after a full year of operation that the actual homeowner will not have to pay any net energy bill from that.
Tell me what we're looking at. People walk in, and this is, this is for the public to see. So kind of walk me through this board and show me what we're looking at.
Well, as we can see right here in the center of the screen is the dashboard is first monitoring the bank here and its geothermal system. Right now they're using about 15,000 kilowatts of power. There's a demand factor, BTU per hour. That is basically taking the energy consumed. See, they go down into the earth and then they convert cold or convert heat to help offset the cost. Right now in the bank, 22% of the energy being consumed right now is from plugs, computers and other kind of things. Lighting is 29%, and then the HVAC system is taking 49% of the power currently used by the bank.
And then I see we've got the Habitat homes.
Yes.
We also have some apartments as well.
We do. Frederick Place Apartments was a HUD facility that had 48 units, was destroyed by the tornado. And Winterwood Management came along, leveraged some tax credits, and were able to generate money to build back 48 townhomes. Let's see, 32 of them are double 2 bedrooms, and 16 are single bedrooms. And so we got permission from the owners to actually be able to monitor their energy. And so you can see over in the screen, some are very similar, but somebody down here is only using 3.94, so maybe they turned off lights and stuff or other appliances, and this will vary in real time.
Do you have hopes of maybe adding more to this dashboard?
Or to the concept. The dashboard itself, we've got the funding to do this, as well as the Habitat homes over here. We've also are looking at, in the next month, is installing these meters on an older home that was built 15 or 20 years ago. The premise is that they're going to be using or consuming a little more energy, and that will be added to come online. The purpose of the dashboard is twofold. One, as people come into the bank and check with a teller or whatever, that the kids and the adults can actually come over here and see what it's about. And kids are important because they influence their parents. And one of the things the grant paid for was to train 6 teachers, 4 elementary, 1 middle school, and 1 high school teacher, to teach their kids about energy efficiency, renewable energies. They got energy kits and stuff. And part of this, as we take this, we will put the dashboard also on the internet. We're going to create a website around it so that we can share this. Because the idea is, how do we share this to other people? There's a lot of energy clubs around Kentucky, but even beyond. Because here's a town that has rebuilt, pulled up their bootstraps and just found a way to rebuild and carry on their life. And we think this is an important thing as we look at the ever-increasing cost of energy, is just how do people survive? And energy efficiency is the first step. You never want to do renewables until you've actually done the energy efficiency side, and then renewable is an excellent way to mitigate your cost over time, and it pays for itself over time.
Tommy, I'll just go ahead and just continue on instead of us stopping and getting another spot somewhere else for the interview. Tell me about what you do aside from being here telling me about this dashboard. Tell me how you kind of got into this process.
Right. I have a couple of companies. One's a nonprofit, Sustainable Business Ventures, and our goal is to help difficult to employ individuals create their own job through self-employment. And we do entrepreneur training. I've trained low-income youth. I've trained inmates in a prison. And so that's kind of half of my time. But I also started with a partner in Frankfurt, Jason DeLam. We started Midwest Clean Energy Enterprise. And the idea is that things happen on the East Coast and the West Coast, and state-of-the-art things that are happening, and it seems to be very slow here. Somebody once said that Tom Sawyer used to say that when he got older, he wanted to move to Kentucky because everything, or Mark Twain, I'm sorry, Mark Twain, when he gets older, he wanted to move to Kentucky because everything happens 20 years later. And so we wanted to be consultants to help bring that capability to the Kentuckians and really anybody in the Midwest. One of the things we do is we help small businesses get applications for the USDA's Rural Energy for America program grants. It'll pay 25% of the cost of any energy efficiency or renewable energy thing. It has to be in a small business in a community of 50,000 population or less. And we've helped like 35 or 38 clients get almost $2 million in grants. So we do grant writing. And this project in West Liberty came up. Jonathan Miller was hired to help raise money after the disaster, and the community wanted him to help them raise money to rebuild, and they needed someone to help develop a strategic plan. So we got paid to help develop that strategic plan, come up with ideas. Entrepreneurship was very important, and also passive housing. How do we lower the footprint? So this project kind of came out of that goal of trying to reduce the electric bills. What happens oftentimes is low and moderate income families struggle to pay their electric bills, and oftentimes they have to choose between eating or going to the doctor and paying their utility bills. So if we look at a different way to help encourage people to save money through energy efficiency, but also how they can look at renewables, that can help them break that cycle of poverty.
All of this pretty much done through grant monies, right?
Yes, yes. Now we did have Harshaw Train, a very great company out of Louisville. They heard my story, and Frank Harshaw said, well, if you can match it, I'll give this project $25,000. And so Harshaw gave us the money, and we're involved in developing the dashboard. And they do this in schools and businesses all over the Commonwealth. In fact, at Fort Knox, they work with Fort Knox, and there's currently 80,000 points of energy that are created or used, and they've got monitors to track that. So if something goes down or something goes off, they can intervene and help Fort Knox.
Dashboards like this, how many of them are there in the state? Any idea?
No. But the UK Center for Applied Energy Research has a brand new kind of advanced manufacturing facility. Okay. And it was there where I saw the idea. About 2 weeks before the application was due, I saw that and I said, this is a great way to teach people about energy efficiency and stuff.
How do you see what the folks of West Liberty have decided to do after having something that was so terrible happen, build back, but do it in such a way where they are being cleaner, greener, and they're being, I guess, educating people too?
Well, we had a stakeholder engagement meeting a couple months after the tornado, and we really were pitching them on a concept that was really started in Greensburg, Kansas, destroyed by an EF5 tornado. Only 3 buildings remained after this tornado, and the community decided to build back a green, sustainable community. They got a wind farm. They had to rebuild everything from schools to government to homes in the community. And before the tornado, 40,000 visitors a year. Now over 100,000 people come from around the world to see how they did it. And we were able to bring the organizer of that here into West Liberty for our stakeholder meeting here. And what we saw was people were looking for something. You know, it's devastating to see your homes and your family and your friends and stuff displaced by this, but they were looking for something. So, you know, even though we're in the foothills of coal country, it was not outrageous for us to look at energy efficiency and renewable energy as one of the pathways to help this community transform.
Last question, what do you see, you know, here's what we just looked at. What's next for this community in terms of where they could go with all of this?
Well, one of the things that we're working on is seeking additional funding to fund an entrepreneur training program to help individuals in communities like West Liberty and the surrounding communities to look at starting their own business. One of the challenges in rural communities are there are very few jobs available. And with that problem, you can either be unemployed, or you can find ways to help yourself and your family. So we want to teach them how they can start a business.